Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you that are new here, hey, I'm so glad you stopped by. So good to have you. Today we are talking about remote nursing and how I landed my first remote nursing job within just 2 weeks of me starting my search. And no, I did not have any prior remote nursing experience prior to getting this job. I'm going to talk about what I actually did, what type of jobs I applied to, and what I feel like made the difference with me landing that job in such a short amount of time. So if you are a nurse that is considering leaving bedside, or you're just curious about remote nursing, stick around. Before I started working from home, like I said, had no prior remote experience, but I had years of experience as a nurse. I'm a registered nurse. And so a lot of your bedside skills are transferable. So like patient education, communication, time management, and those things. Those types of things are what is needed for these remote nursing positions. You don't have to have years of case management or utilization management skills to land these remote nursing jobs. You just have to have some experience under your belt. So the first thing I did was get really clear on the types of nursing roles that I was looking for remotely. So those were like care coordination, utilization management, care management, patient outreach. These types of jobs are where I was talking about those transferable skills, your documentation, your communication, patient education, your knowledge of chronic diseases and management of different types of diseases and whatnot. These are those transferable skills that are ideal in remote nursing to teach and provide education and do all of the things remotely while not being directly in front of your patient. And this is what I think made the biggest difference of me landing my remote nursing jobs. My resume. I tailored my resume to focus on remote-based nursing instead of bedside nursing. You cannot go looking for these remote nursing jobs with your same resume that you've been looking for bedside nursing jobs. For these jobs, you want to tailor your resume to highlight certain bedside skills that you know you can use in the remote setting, like communication, patient education, time management, organization. These are all important remote skills because they are looking for somebody who's able to effectively work independently outside of the bedside. And when you are updating your resume to be more tailored toward remote nursing jobs, I would recommend removing any like excessive bedside details because it's kind of not relevant to certain jobs that you are applying for. But say for instance, you are applying for a utilization management job that is for like LTAC or something like that, and you have like vent experience, that would be, relevant. So just be mindful of, some excessive details on your resume. You want to really highlight the ones that actually will land you the job. Another thing to highlight when you are doing your resume, it is so important to highlight your ability to communicate effectively and also to work independently because ultimately you are working by yourself at home. So it's very important to showcase that you are able to manage those types of skills independently and effectively when working remotely. And when I started searching for my remote nursing jobs, I was very intentional about my job search. I wasn't just applying everywhere. I was very specific about where I would apply. So a lot of the jobs I would actually search for like in Google, but if they like popped up, on like a job board or whatnot, I would try my best to go to like the company career page. I did like do a few applications on LinkedIn as well, but I wasn't like applying excessively to a lot of jobs. Even though I was like really ready to get a remote job, I was very strategic and intentional about my job search when I was doing remote nursing job searches. So I did about 5 applications per day. And I was very mindful to make sure it fit my background and I had the skills that was needed. Like, make sure you're reading these job descriptions. And I will say, be mindful of some of the remote guidelines. Some of the state specific like Medicaid type stuff requires you to have a same state license as well as also being actually seated in that state. Like you actually have to live in the state for some of those jobs. So that's something to be mindful of, to make sure you're reading your job descriptions so that you're not applying to a job that kind of just doesn't fit what you're looking for or what you're able to bring to the table. And when I started getting interviews, y'all, I made sure I was ready. Okay, I was practicing questions, all the things like, how do you handle patient education remotely? How is your time management? What do you do to stay organized? How do you handle distractions? These are the types of questions that are asked in these remote nursing interviews, and you be ready. And so even though that was like my first work from home role, I leaned into my nursing experience. Like, how do I handle distractions when I'm on a really busy unit and we have a lot of alarms going off and whatnot? Lean into how you handle those situations and let it transfer over to how you would handle stuff in a remote situation if you are distracted, or how you do your time management and whatnot. A big factor for me being successful in my remote nursing now is time blocking. Time blocking. If you say you are gonna work on something for these 2 hours, only do that. I'm telling you, your productivity, your focus, and everything, time blocking is a game changer. But yes, be prepared for those questions. Like, you know, practice, like, be intentional about getting these jobs. And for your mindset when you're like getting these interviews, because you will get them, sis, you will get them. Be mindful that remote nursing is still nursing. You still have that experience. You still have that background. Do not let that intimidate you into, like, you know, feeling like you're not like equipped to handle remote nursing. Like, you've done this. You've done it in even more of an intense environment. This is just a more secluded way of doing it. But like, you have all of the skills, all of the things to be able to handle this. Even if it is your first time applying to remote nursing jobs and you get these interviews, do not be distracted or feeling, you know, a little shy about how you can handle it. You can handle it. You have all the skills, all the skills. Remote nursing is still nursing at the end of the day. And y'all, I think a few things helped me land my first remote nursing job. First and foremost, I was not against getting entry-level positions. My first work from home role was utilization management. I did not have experience or none of that. And that wasn't my top choice, if we're being completely honest. I was not on the hunt for a utilization management job. I was more interested in getting my foot in the door. At the time, I had just had my child. We weren't sleeping. Okay, we were not sleeping in my house. She did not sleep. And going out of the house after, like, you know, taking care of this little person all night and going bedside, taking care of other people, like, you know, it became very wearing on my body as well as my mind. So I was more so interested in getting my foot in the door for a remote position to build those skills and tailor my resume even more to be able to get another remote nursing job that I may have actually wanted. Another thing that I think helped me greatly with landing this role, like I said, a strong tailored resume. Even if you have to like pay to get your resume professionally done, or y'all, use what you got. ChatGPT will help you do your resume in ways that you have never seen before. But tailor that resume towards these specific roles that you are looking for. That is a game changer, because a lot of companies now are actually using AI generated stuff to like go through resumes. People are not like necessarily looking directly at resumes now. If we're being completely honest, like that's the reality of the workforce and job force now. Like, people are not shuffling through these resumes by hand like they used to. That's just the reality of things. So you want to tailor your resume to have like certain stuff on there that's gonna stick out so that it can be pulled to be, you know, moved on to the next step in the hiring process. And the last thing that I feel like helped me in my hiring process, my confidence in my interviews. Like I said, even though this was my remote nursing position, my first remote nursing position, I was so passionate and so driven to actually land the job, because at that time it was something I needed. So I went in prepared. I went in confident. Like I said, I was practicing questions. I looked up how the hiring process worked. Like, if I got a call from a recruiter for like, you know, screening questions and whatnot, I would be sure to ask, what's the next step in the hiring process, or what does y'all's interview process look like? I wanted to be prepared because I wanted that job. And I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. Remote nursing is a very competitive field right now. Like, everybody wants these jobs. Like, it's in high demand, but it's not impossible as long as you focus on the jobs that are tailored towards what you know you can bring to the table. Get you a good resume and go in confident with a good mindset. It may not, you know, happen right when you want it. It may even take months, y'all, if we're being completely honest, but it can happen. Like, it's not impossible. But if you are thinking about transitioning from the bedside, do not count yourself out. Just get to work. Tailor your resume, clean up your resume, get ready to start practicing those questions and whatnot, and start actually looking for these jobs and what they are looking for. Trust your experience. Like I said, remote nursing is still nursing. You got a whole lot to bring to the table. Trust your experience. If you want a part 2 where I break down my exact resume, interview questions, a day of my life as a work from home nurse, let me know in the comments and I'll get it done, all right? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all on the next video.